Want to see the office of a video production company? Well, stick around to the end of the video and I'm going to show you the entire thing. Let's get started right now. If you're new around here, we are C-Mount Media. We're a video and photo production company based right here in New England. And so if you want to stay up to date on all of our videos, all of our content, subscribe below, tap that bell for notifications. So before we actually head into our office, I first want to talk about how we actually acquired the space. So one of our clients is a real estate team here in Middletown, Rhode Island called the Fitzpatrick team at Remax Professionals of Newport. And through our contract with them, we create a lot of content on a consistent basis. And they actually have a very consistent need for videos, so they need us to be here quite often. And they've been kind enough to basically gift us this space as part of that contract. So our media room, we call it, is located inside their office here in Middletown. So now that we got that out of the way, I want to take you in because we have been working very hard at putting this space together. It's finally at a place where we say it's complete. Little disclaimer, it will never be fully complete. We will always be adding new things here and there, but this is a good spot right now. So let's take you inside. So first thing you'll notice is this side of the office right here. And probably what your eye is drawn to most are this design right here. These are actually little mini sound panels in the shapes of hexagons. We actually got them on Amazon, and basically anything I mention in this video will be linked in the description below. So if you're building an office space, you can refer to those as well. But yeah, we got these off of Amazon and they basically come loose and you just stick them on the wall. So we arranged them in kind of a cool design. Some of them actually don't do anything at all. They're just these cutouts. It's a very thin layer of sound dampening, but it actually helps a little bit. Basically with soundproofing, the more you can add, the better it will sound. So that's that right there. Then you'll see we have this beautiful, I guess, pine, oak, whatever type of wood you want to call it, desk. This is from Foley. This is not cheap, but it is a sit-stand desk. So as you can see, it raises up just like this to a standing position if we want to stand up. Now that's helpful for two reasons. One, if we're actually working, it's nice to kind of stand up, type, do that sort of thing. And two, it's actually very flexible to film on. So if we need to film something on this surface where we need to, be like this, showcasing it, like sometimes we're shooting product videos and we need to have a little elevated surface. It's nice to have that flexibility. Let me bring that back down. We actually customized this desk with power grommets and another grommet right here, and we made sure to also have wheels on the bottom, and you'll see both of our desks have wheels because it makes it very easy to move around. We are always moving the furniture in this place. We also like to create a vibe in the space with some candles. We have a cool electric lighter. Let's put that on, get a little ambiance going. Anyway, so that's the desk, or one of the desks. I believe this is very expensive. It's like a $700 desk. So we did not cheap out on this, but highly, highly recommend the brand Foley if you're getting a sit-stand desk. All right, the chair here. This is actually just a chair from Target. And we got this one because this is a good chair to sit in if we are filming. So if you sit down in it, basically you don't really see the sides, and that's kind of what we want. If we saw the sides of the chair, it would become a little bit distracting, but we don't want to see that. It's decently comfortable as well, and it's a fixed back, which is good when we're shooting with people who are not used to being on camera, so they don't get to slide around, do that sort of thing. So that's from Target, not too expensive. Then we move over here to the shelf. Now, the shelf is one of our favorite things, and we think basically if you're building any sort of space to film in, it is really good at adding visual interest because you can it's very versatile. You can put basically anything you want on it. So since we shoot a lot with the Fitzpatrick team, we decided to put a lot of their awards up there. So we have some of these beautiful artistic awards, which by the way, Remax, you guys make some good trophies. So we also decided to decorate it with just some simple sculptures from Home Goods, a vase. We have a little fake plant up here. And over to the right of our shelf, we have one of these really cool things. Let me just turn it on right here. I can turn it on with a remote, and this is a tube light. And we basically use this for everything we film with. It's really nice when it's in the frame because it kind of highlights the edge of the subject and it also just looks cool. So that's our tube light. We really like using that. Let me shut that off or make it blink because we don't really know how to use it. There we go. Okay. Now, if you come into the corner here, you can see we have another piece of sound treatment. This is called a bass trap or a corner bass trap. And basically people just stick them in the corners of the room to add a little bit more sound dampening. So that's basically this side of the room. We end up using this a lot for filming, and we just really like this side. Moving over here, we have a nice plant from IKEA, which we filled with some rocks in a nice little pot. This is one of my favorite things in the office. You'll hear me saying that a lot because I just like it in general. But these are sound panels, yet again, but these are from a company called Acoustimac, and we figured that we could make a nice little practical design and also, you know, provide some sound treatment for our sets. So we decided to go, you know, a two-tone color, and we decided to stagger them a little bit. If they were all straight, it would look a little boring, but the fact that we just staggered them ever so slightly, you know, makes it a little bit more visually interesting. I really like this touch. We had this wall blank for a really long time, and then when we added these, game changer. All right. Moving over to this corner of the office. Now this is slightly newer than the other sides of the office. So first, we have another sit-stand desk, but this one's from Wayfair. This one's a little cheaper. Actually, this one is pretty great if you can't really afford the fully desk, but as you can see some of the seams here and there. It's not a just continuous piece of wood, but it works pretty much the same. We were able to add wheels to it as well, so it works just fine. We have this office chair from IKEA. Now this one, it's okay. We could have gone with a better quality office chair from like Staples or something like that. But when we went to the store, it felt comfortable, so we were like, yeah, let's go for it. It is still pretty comfortable, but it's just a little cheap, you can tell. So that is this desk setup, and this is actually the one that I'm at most of the time. Nick's usually at the other one. In the corner, we have this surprisingly expensive fake plant. Also, let me mention, all of the plants in here are unfortunately fake because this wall right here with the sound panels, we were supposed to have a window, but it's a structural wall, so we can't really, you know, do that. So we had to settle for fake plants, but we picked some pretty good ones. This is from Target. Over $100, but it looks really great. It's a big, tall, we call it our tree. Back behind the plant, we have another bass trap for sound treatment. And then as you'll see, we have a nice gray accent wall. Now, Nick and I painted this pretty recently. I think it came out pretty good. The color on this wall is Benjamin Moore gray. Yes, literally just gray, but it is, in my opinion, the perfect shade of gray. Nice, I would call this more dark than some of the other grays you'll find, but it matches, you know, our vibe, our branding. On the gray wall, we have some floating shelves from Target. Another thing I wouldn't necessarily recommend because these shelves are a little cheaply made. They're from Target's sub-brand Threshold. They have some better ones that are in the walnut finish. Those ones are a little bit more fine-tuned, but these are basically, it's almost like a raw piece of wood. They're very difficult to put up, so I wouldn't really recommend this color. Maybe the walnut one will be a little bit better for you. So on the shelves, we just put some simple decorations. We've got this nice vine plant from IKEA. That one was pretty inexpensive, but it looks fantastic on the floating shelf. Just a clock from Home Goods. Another random art piece I found in my basement. We have this Polaroid camera, which if you're true fans of C-Mount Media, you'll know the origination of this. And we have a nice fake plant from a store called At Home. That's always a nice place to get some decorations for your shelves. All right, so that's the gray wall. Now let's move over here to our closet. So now it's a little messy. I think we still need some organization in here, but this is kind of where we store all of our gear. So one of the notable things in here, I'll let the camera go in there while I talk about it. We have a workbench, a full-on workbench from Lowe's. And now this was heavy. This was a pain in the butt to get in here, but it actually works very well for storing our equipment. It has a nice like work surface here on top. If we want to, you know, screw some tripod plates in, you know, we also put some things on top of it as well. We have all of our lighting equipment, all of our stands. One of the more recent things we added to the office was this podcast setup. So we have the Rode mixer right here, and we also have these podcast microphones. These sound amazing. Nick has a podcast, if you didn't know already. We'll put that linked in the description as well. Another thing we have, these little mini battery powered lights. Absolute game changer when it comes to lighting any form of scene. We also have these massive battery packs for our bigger lights so that we don't have to, you know, run a cable across the whole room. It makes it easier so that people don't trip. So that's that. Another little filmmaking tidbit. We have an Apple box, which acts as a stool, a stand, a seat, pretty much anything you want it to do. It's very versatile. And another thing we have in here, these are our replica surfaces. So we have these in a few different finishes. This is kind of like a white marble type thing. This works really well for kind of product commercials or photos. We've only used these a couple of times so far, just experimenting with them, but we're looking to get into more of that in the future. So these are our replica surfaces. That's pretty much it when it comes to the closet. Again, I apologize for it being that messy. Like I said, we're still working on this place. All right, now to the fourth wall of the office. This one also is one of my favorites because we have this awesome little couch. Now this couch is great because it's actually not that big and it looks fantastic. And you know, it's decently comfortable. It's more of a design piece than anything because this was gonna be kind of a blank wall if we didn't put anything here, but it works as a prop, works as somewhere to sit. It's good. Put a pillow on it, put a blanket on it, make it look all nice. And above that, we have our paper backdrops. Now we have three colors. We have the Remax red and navy blue for when we shoot with the Fitzpatrick team. They like having some punchy backgrounds, but we also have a nice neutral gray for us, which works nice if we're shooting like photos, headshots, but also if you just want a completely clean slate. These paper backdrops work really well. What we did with the paper backdrops is we mounted them to the wall so we didn't have to set up stands each time. And so we have this chain system from Impact, again, linked in the description below. They work all right. They get a little stuck sometimes, but they pretty much get the job done. The mounting on the sides holds it up really well though, I will say. Moving on from the backdrops, have a nice little side table from Home Goods, finished with some coasters and another plant from At Home. So I believe that's everything basically in the office. So yeah, it took us a long time to kind of come to this point. It took a lot of organizing, cable management, moving things around to get to a place where we're happy with it. And like I said, we will always continue to improve upon it, add new things here and there. So obviously this is a pretty small space, but we wanted to make it as modular and versatile as possible. We wanted to have as many camera angles as we could think of. So right now, I wanted to show you a few of our favorite camera angles, and let's cut to those.
Okay, so this is our corner set. This is one of our favorites and most commonly used. We typically use this for our clients here, the Fitzpatrick team Remax. We like it because we're shooting into the corner, as you can see. It's perfect with the tube light behind me, just shoved right in the back there. It acts as both a practical and a hair light. The shelf we have decorated with the Remax's awards, so it perfectly displays them for their videos. We're throwing them in here for today just for example. But yeah, shooting to the corner is always nice because it adds a little bit of depth, whereas shooting against a flat wall can sometimes get boring.
So this is another set in our office. This is the sound panel wall, and we decided to use this set because it's a little bit more clean and simple with the rectangular sound panels back there. We have our tube light back there as our hair light and practical light, which we pretty much use on all of our sets. Adds that nice little touch. And we also like to add some sort of greenery in all of our sets as well. So we moved our big tree plant over, but this one's another one of my favorites because it's just so clean and simple. We are shooting against a flat wall, but that does work in some cases when you have, you know, some visual interest back there. So Yeah, we call this the gray wall, I guess. We don't really have names for it. That's just me making it up. But I am personally a huge fan of this, maybe just because it's the newest one, but I also just really love the dark color gray. Shout out Benjamin Moore and Nick for selecting that color. We also have some floating shelves in a pine color from Target. I actually wouldn't really recommend these shelves. They're a little bit janky to get on. I actually have some cardboard pieces behind there supporting them. Here you can see some examples of what we've shot with the paper backdrops. We like to use these more for vertical based content on Instagram Reels, TikTok, YouTube, that sort of thing. So we're able to achieve some pretty cool results with these, and I really like how they came out. So there you have it. That's a tour of our very own office space. If you found this inspiring for your own office, leave a comment down below. Let us know what you like or dislike about it. Doesn't really matter. Share your opinion with us. If you like this video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to us. And if you're looking to hire a creative team for your video production for your company, make sure to consider us here at Seamount Media. All of our information will be in the description below. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.